All right, enough with the theory. And for the speaking number 6, it wasn't much of the theory. Let's go straight to practice. Let's have a look at the sample task. So listen to the lecture, try to make as many notes as you can. Probably this lecture is going to be a little bit hard, but it's all right. Still, try to write down all the key terms, all the key ideas. And then, after you listen to the lecture and make your notes, we're going to discuss the notes, and then you're going to hear my sample response. Let's do it.
Please listen carefully. In this question, you will listen to part of a lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to part of a lecture in an earth science class.
Of course, you're all familiar with rainbows, perhaps the most beautiful of the atmospheric phenomena. However, there are other interesting but less common phenomena that I will be speaking about today. These are produced when light from the sun, or sometimes from the moon, passes through hexagonal-shaped or six-sided ice crystals. These ice crystals refract, that is, bend the light in the atmosphere. Imagine that the crystals are prisms bending each wavelength of light at a different angle. I want to describe 3 different phenomena that occur depending on the ice crystal's orientation towards the surface of the Earth, how the crystals are arranged in relation to the Earth. Okay, so the first phenomenon is a ring called a halo. This happens when the ice crystals are randomly scattered in the atmosphere. If the light enters these crystals, randomly scattered crystals, the light is dispersed around the sun or moon and is seen as a ring around the light source. So, halos occur when the ice crystals that the light shines through are randomly dispersed in the atmosphere. Okay. Sometimes, however, the ice crystals are oriented horizontally instead of randomly. Now, this causes a different phenomenon. If the sun is low in the sky and its light shines through horizontal ice crystals, we see 2 bright spots on either side of the sun. These are called sundogs and are seen at an angle of 22 degrees from the sun. Both halos and sundogs are caused by refraction of light. The third phenomenon is a sun pillar. Around sunrise or sunset, you might see a shaft of light stretching either upwards or downwards from the sun, a sun pillar. Unlike halos and sundogs, though, with sun pillars, sunlight reflects, not refracts, off horizontally aligned ice crystals that are gently falling through the atmosphere.
Using the information in the lecture, explain the 3 atmospheric phenomena that the lecturer discusses. You may begin to prepare your response after the beep.
All right, was it difficult? How was it? Let's have a look at the notes that I took while I was listening to the same lecture. These are the original notes that I really took. I just typed them after so that you can have a look. So this is what I wrote. You see that sometimes I don't write all the words completely. I use abbreviations. So for example, like here, atom, fan, of course it's an atmospheric phenomena. So here's what I wrote. Rainbows, atmospheric phenomena, less common, light from sun, moon pass through ice crystals, they refract, bend light, 3 different phenomena depending on the orientation to Earth. Halo, randomly scattered dispersed crystals, light, this is a symbol, enters, a ring around light source, refract. Then ice crystals horizontally oriented, sun low in the sky, 2 bright spots on the side of the sun, sundogs, seen 22 degrees from sun, refraction. Sun pillar, around sunrise sunset, upward or downward from sun reflects horizontal ice crystals. So of course it's a mess, of course it's not grammatically correct, it's just random words which I was able to write down, and probably your notes are going to look similar. Okay, so now I have 20 seconds to make it better, to actually make my life better while I'm going to say it. So I'm going to write down some of the words which will help me to read this easier while I'm speaking. So I'm going to write that there are less common atmospheric phenomena. I'm going to write phenomena here as well. I'm going to add when light from sun, moon pass through ice crystals. Passes, I'm going to write passes so that I don't forget about that S. occur depending on the orientation to earth. I'm going to write down the verb so I don't have to create it during my speaking. Then I'm going to add of ice crystals, orientation of ice crystals to earth so that I don't forget. I'm going to write enters here instead of this symbol because during my speech I might forget what is this symbol, what is this verb. I'm going to write when sun low in the sky. Then I add we see 2 bright spots. When sun low in the sky, we see 2 bright spots. Okay, it made my life easier. I'm going to add caused by, seen 22 degrees from sun, caused by refraction, so that it's easier for me to say it. And then I'm also going to add light upward or downward from sun. Also, I'm adding reflects off horizontal ice crystal so that I don't forget about that off. Alright, so these are the notes that I made. I wrote them down here. So this is everything that I have before I start speaking. So I did my notes and then during 20 seconds I wrote down some words which are going to help me to read it better and easier while I'm speaking. So now I'm going to show you the recording of me saying all of that without the preparation, without learning it by heart, without reading a script. So I did it in a natural setting as if I was on the exam or as if you're going to do this right now. So I did it in the natural setting, the closest to your setting as possible, but with a little bit more of expertise, of course. So I'm encouraging you to listen to the sample response and then after you listen to it, try it yourself. Okay, so let's see a sample response. The lecture talks about atmospheric phenomena. The most famous one is rainbows, but the lecture discusses less common phenomena. When light from the sun or from the moon passes through ice crystals, they refract. And there are 3 different phenomena that occur depending on the orientation of ice crystals to Earth. The first one is halo. This is when the ice crystals are randomly scattered and the light enters them. So we can see a ring around the light source as the ice crystals refract. The second one is sundogs, and this is when ice crystals are oriented horizontally, not randomly, and when the sun is low in the sky, we can see 2 bright spots on the side of the sun. This is called sundogs, and we can see it from the angle of 22 degrees from the sun, and this is called by refraction as well. The last one is sun pillar, and this happens around sunrise or sunset when the line is when we can see light upward or downward from sun. Sun reflects off horizontal ice crystals, not retracts. Alright, so this was a sample response. You saw that I was reading everything pretty fast so that I managed to say everything during 60 seconds. Different people have different problems. Some people have a lot of time and very little material, so they need to slow down or they need to remember something, add something that is not written because they made not too many notes. Other people have a different problem. They have too many notes and then they are slow speakers, so they need to speed up, so they need to speak faster. You're going to know where you need improvement, what is your problem, of course, only if you're practicing. So do a lot of practice. You can start with this exercise. You already listened to the lecture, you already took notes. Try to do this exercise within 60 seconds. Record yourself, see if you like it or not, what needs improvement, what was the problem, and here starts your practice and your improvement. So do that, and thanks for watching.